Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. In this video, we're going to be looking at this, which is the Two Notes Torpedo Cab M. Now, this is a speaker simulator pedal that you can load IRs and use the cabinet emulations from Two Notes. And what we're going to do today is to take the line out of the Boss Katana to plug it into this pedal to see how good it sounds. So let's get to it. Now, the Boss Katana does actually have some speaker emulation built in. But when you plug into the record out, which is also the headphones out, it mutes the speaker that's in the Katana. So what that means is that, say you're on stage and you have a line out going to front of house because you want to send a line out instead of miking up the cabinet, your speaker's going to be muted. So the only way you're going to be able to hear yourself is if the engineer gives you some foldback. So what I've done is to take the line out the back of the Katana, and I've gone into the Two Notes Torpedo Cab M, and then I've taken an XLR lead and I'm going straight into my interface. So that sounds like this. If I take off the Two Notes cabinet emulation, it sounds like this. So that's a Katana on its own. So let's switch that back on. And as you can hear, it's a much more pleasing sound. Things get even worse when you start to bring in like overdrive and distortion. So if I turn on the overdrive on the Katana and I turn off the torpedo, it sounds like this. Just unusable, be in a box sort of sound. Let's bring it back in. And now this is with the torpedo. Also, what we can do, because we're now going into the computer, or in effect, we're going into a console, so you can do this for live as well. I can now turn some effects on inside my DAW. So let's do that. Let's turn on a reverb and a delay. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because we're now going to get some full stereo reverb and delay. And that sounds like this. Let's turn off the overdrive on the Katana and let's go through some of the features of the Cab M. So again, we've got this clean sound. Up here is where we can choose our different cabinets. We've got all these different choices and you can get loads more choices from the Two Notes website. If there's a particular cabinet that you're after, you're almost guaranteed to find it there. I can choose from 1x10s, 1x12s, 1x15s, 2x12s and 4x12s. Now the ones that I've got loaded in are the ones that are showing up in all of these menus. So let's go to 1x12. One of my favorite 1x12s on this device is the Sir Bella 1x12. And again, I can switch through all the different types and I can even go to 4x12. And let's choose the Bow Green, which is my favorite 4x12 that's in here. So the next in the chain is effects. So we've got EQ, I can switch in some EQ. So say we want some more bottom end, I can turn up 120 Hertz. And if you're finding it a bit fizzy, you can bring back 6K. Then we've got an enhancer, so let's try adding a bit of body. Right, let's turn that off. Then we've got reverb. The reverb in here is actually quite a good sounding reverb, but it's a mono reverb. When I'm recording and live, actually, I like to use stereo reverb, so that's why I'm using the reverb on my DAW. If we come down to the start of the chain, we've got a noise gate. So if you've got particularly noisy amp or pedals, you can use that. The Katana is actually quite quiet, so we're not going to use that. But next along in the chain is a preamp. Now this was updated when the Torpedo Cab M became the Torpedo Cab M Plus, and that's a free download from the website. It's just literally a software firmware update. And then we've got the power amp emulation. So we've got all these different choices from single-ended 6L6s to push-pull KT88. So let's just go through some of the different sounds there. Let's try the 6L6s. Let's take it out. Let's try the EL34. So this is like a Marshall. I'm not going to be using any of that today, so I'm just going to switch all that off. Now, the next thing we're going to be looking at is the microphones. Now we've got the choice of all these different microphones that we can simulate on this cabinet. On mic A, I've got a Ribbon 121, and I've got a Dynamic 421 on mic B. And what we can even do is to move each of these microphones around the back to get how it would sound if you mic'd up the back of the cabinet. So let's mute the Ribbon 121, and then we've just got one microphone now, which is a 421. And let's move that around the back of the cabinet. And now let's bring back mic 1. Let's bring it around the front again. So it really gives you a load of tonal possibilities for all your recording or live needs. Now, last but not least, and it's a simple feature, but we've got a tuner. So I can click this little button down here, and then we've got a tuner that pops up. Let's turn the drive on the Katana, and let's try a couple of different speaker cabs. So here's Bo Green. And let's stick on the 4x12s. Let's click on the speakers, choose 4x12s, and let's try the free rock. And now let's try the Brit 68, which is like a Marshall style cabinet. And let's choose an AC30 style cabinet. I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. I really hope you guys got something out of that. If you did get something out of it, don't forget to like and subscribe and click on that bell button and you'll be notified of all future videos that come out from the Studio Rats. I'm Paul and I'll see you next time. Cheers.